It's now 2026, but some of us are still trying to cope with the releases from last year. In this video, we'll be listing some of the worst BL dramas you might want to avoid based on their ratings. Of course, it's still up to you whether you decide to watch them or not. Before that, please note that some of these shows may not be available in your country due to geo restrictions. If that's the case, you might want to sign up for ExpressVPN so you can unlock these geo-blocked BL dramas. Use the link in the description below to get a 61% discount plus an additional 4 months free if you opt for the 24-month plan. Without further ado, let's get started. Number 10 on our list. With me, I'm usually pretty forgiving when it comes to KBLs because of their limited budgets, but this one just isn't cutting it for me. The acting felt more like a special vlog than an actual production, and although I genuinely wanted to like it, I ended up dropping it because I couldn't feel anything from the show. The plot wasn't very encouraging either, though since I dropped it at episode 2, it might have improved toward the finale. There's an ongoing communication issue between the main leads right from the start, and it seems to be the core conflict throughout the series. Anyway, the show is free to watch on YouTube, with an uncut version available for channel members. Number 9 on our list, All For You. This series comes from the same production company as With Me. While it does feel slightly more polished compared to that project, it still falls short of being a strong recommendation. The plot is fairly straightforward, which likely explains its brief 3-episode run, and although the performances were serviceable, they lacked the depth needed to leave a stronger impression. In terms of romance, the chemistry between the main couple wasn't particularly compelling for most of the series, with the exception of the final scene, which ultimately prevented it from ending as a complete disappointment. Number 8 on our list, Moon and Dust. Seeing one of the main actors from Revenge Love initially raised my expectations, but the series ultimately turned into a disappointment. While the acting itself was solid, it couldn't compensate for the show's weak plotting and inconsistent direction, which significantly undermined the viewing experience. At certain points, the narrative closely resembled Unknown, yet the similarities only highlighted the lack of refinement in its execution, particularly in the finale, which failed to deliver a satisfying payoff. Additionally, the uneven editing disrupted the pacing and further weakened the storytelling, making it difficult to stay invested throughout the series. Moon and Dust is available to watch on the Peach YouTube channel. Number 7 on our list, Only for Fans, The Stalker. I genuinely thought I had already encountered the weakest BLs out there, until I watched this series. The first season was among the lowest rated BL dramas of 2024, and its sequel in 2025 similarly found its way onto our list. It's difficult to determine who the intended audience for these shows might be, though personal taste will always play a role in how they are received. That said, considering the generally consistent quality of Korean BL productions, the overall result here was still quite surprising. Number 6 on our list, My Boyfriend is a Sculpture. While the concept of this series showed clear potential, the execution ultimately undermined its promise. The narrative structure was uneven, with rushed story development that left little room for meaningful character growth or emotional investment. Although the premise was intriguing, the actors' performances lacked the depth necessary to elevate the material, and the chemistry between the main couple was largely unconvincing. Furthermore, the limited number of episodes exacerbated these issues, making the pacing feel abrupt and preventing the series from fully exploring its themes. A remake with more deliberate storytelling, stronger performances, and tighter editing could have transformed this concept into a much more effective and engaging series. Number 5 on our list, The Secret of the Secretary. If it were only based on my personal rating, this series probably wouldn't be on this list, because it has potential and isn't nearly as bad as some of the previous shows. The collaboration between Japanese and Korean creators is quite interesting. Even so, the story fell short due to limited airtime, and much of the plot was conveyed off-screen rather than within the scenes, which made it somewhat confusing. Overall, it was an average series, but with this level of potential, I'm excited to see what they could deliver in the future. Number 4 on our list, XylonAkau First Love. While the series showcased some impressive scenery, its visual appeal was arguably the only standout element. The performances and editing were inconsistent, which undermined the overall watchability. Both the direction and the script lacked cohesion and depth, limiting character development and narrative engagement, though these shortcomings may be more noticeable depending on personal taste. Overall, while not without flaws, I would rate this series slightly higher than others on this list due to its visual strengths and potential. Number 3 on our list, The Last Time. I haven't watched this series, primarily because it doesn't seem compelling enough to justify the time investment. With each episode running 40 minutes, the pacing risks feeling laborious rather than engaging, especially given the lack of apparent chemistry between the main couple, a critical element for a romance-driven narrative. While this may be a matter of personal taste, the series appears to target an audience that prioritizes style or concept over character development and emotional resonance. Number 2 on our list, Eye Contact. This series is highly problematic and, in my view, should be avoided entirely. Beyond the plot's numerous questionable decisions, production issues severely undermined the show's execution, most notably the mid-production halt caused by the company failing to pay the actors, resulting in their departure. From a content perspective, the inclusion of the R word is deeply problematic and non-negotiable in terms of responsible storytelling. While the premise had potential, these structural, ethical, and narrative shortcomings prevented the series from being anything more than a cautionary example of mismanaged production and weak creative oversight. Number 1 on our list, Tide of Love. I gave this series a try, but even with a short 10-minute runtime per episode, it failed to hold my attention. The narrative lacks direction, making it unclear what the ultimate goal of the main couple is, and the weak writing compounds this issue. The series also fails to build any meaningful tension or chemistry between the leads, leaving the central relationship unengaging. Overall, the combination of poor storytelling, underdeveloped characters, and ineffective pacing made it difficult to remain invested, leading me to abandon the series early. Do you agree on the ranking and ratings of these BL series? Tell us your opinions in the comment section. Thank you for watching. That's it and see you on the next one.